This one was requested by a few people and also an email. So, the Disney and the monopoly perception. Let's just start off by saying the obvious. You can't have a monopoly if you literally put out the least amount of films per year.
Yep.
That doesn't work.
I have told so many people this because a lot of people will come up to me in Taekwondo and just in the outside world, and they're just like, oh, why is there so many Disney movies, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, have you ever actually counted how many Disney properties there are and then counted how many Warner Brothers or Universal properties there are? They're like, no. I'm like, there's about three times more on one company and about four to
And
five
that's on a
times
low
more.
year. Like
Yep.
on a typical year, it's like 4-1 almost.
I was
And
say, what was it in 2018? Wasn't it like 14 Disney movies to like 50 odd Warner Brothers movies?
Yup.
So like,
and a lot of people are like, well, where are all these movies? I'm like, exactly. They're
Well,
the movies you
so
decided not to go and see because they're not blockbusters.
so far, like just to drive the point is in 2019 so far Disney's only put out about 7 movies.
yeah,
Yup.
yeah.
And here's what gets me. The people complaining about it are the same people that will go see these films. They outright see the Disney films, and when you ask them, I'm like, I can talk to these people being like, oh, so what'd you think of Midsummer? And they're like, I didn't see it. What'd you think of Shazam? I didn't see it. What'd you think of... I didn't see it. I'm like, so you're literally complaining about the monopoly, but you're not seeing the stuff that falls into the other studios that would make them make more content. It's not Disney's fault they put out 7 films this year and 6 have been global box office hits because you're paying to see them. So you can't accuse them of being a monopoly but only support their content.
Yeah.
Like, it
Wait,
doesn't
what
make
was the
sense to me.
seventh one that wasn't a hit?
Dumbo.
Oh, I forgot Dumbo.
Only one. Everything
Yeah.
else has been a hit. Yup.
And mind you, like, we loved Dumbo.
I thought it was great.
And that's the biggest thing is like Disney makes quality over quantity. And that's the biggest like thing that a lot of people don't understand. The reason why everyone's mind is like they're a monopoly is because that's all people talk about is the quality of their films. Look at Medea. I think Medea is on like 800th film.
There's so many.
And it was like nobody talks about it, but it came out. I think 2 or 3 of them came out last
Like,
year.
for example, Warner Brothers this year, to date, has released 27 films.
That's nuts.
Like, there's a lot of stuff they're releasing, and again, there's a lot more content coming out, but I think the perception of Disney monopoly has been heavily pushed by media to the point where people just squawk it out there without ever even looking at the facts.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it goes, what are you gonna go see or buy or whatever? An unproven brand or something that's been proven and people actually like.
Right. And to compare this one to something else that, I think a lot of our listeners will understand, video games. Do you know why Nintendo always manages to sell a huge amount of Zelda and Mario and the likes? It's because they're proven quality and they know every couple years they can release it. And even if they have the least amount of original games, they will make a huge profit because people trust that brand. Same with PlayStation. Like, it's just how it works. You can't expect people to be like, I will go watch a random new movie, but I don't know if I'll like it or not. Like, you have to just take your dollar and vote for what you want more content of, you know? Like, it's easy to blame Disney, but I get it. Like, yes, they have Star Wars. Yes, they have Marvel.
And in fairness, like yes, they own Fox now, so
Yep.
their market share is essentially a third of everything. But there's still 4 other major studios at least putting a ton of movies out a year. So
And also everything that Fox has released in the last year and a half, besides one film, has bombed. So, and their only last big victory was Deadpool 2. So,
and even then they had to make another cut to get one
right. The whole reason Fox sold was because they couldn't maintain it. And now you're even seeing Universal and everybody, they're looking to expand their portfolio and everybody's buying up other stations and other properties and things are changing. So I think the whole monopoly thing is just kind of it's not warranted for anybody.
No, it's weird, especially when you've got AT&T over there owning way more than Disney.
Yeah. Well, it's like
Yeah,
Universal even had 27 movies come out this year.
Yeah, it's funny because people, like what I said before, people forget that they had Batman and Harry Potter selling you smartphones, and that's not a monopoly.
Right. Like, and I mean, Warner Brothers, half the United States, you get your internet through Warner Brothers AT&T.
Yep.
The other half through Universal Comcast. So, like, you want to talk about monopoly? They're controlling your info. Like, they're
especially when, you know, like, isn't there the whole thing like you can't distribute your own stuff or something like that in America?
Yeah.
So, you know, not only has Warner Brothers got the internet service to give people, they're about to have a streaming service.
Uh-huh.
So, like, that's far more a monopoly than anything Disney has. Unless
Yeah.
Disney suddenly just launched into the... Which, to be fair, they would have had an internet service in Europe if they got Sky, but they didn't. So...
Yeah. So it's a weird one. I don't think there's a monopoly. I think there is a lack of knowledge and information by people who just read it online and then spew it out there, right? Like,
It's the typical, you know, success breeds contempt.
it
And
does, yeah.
Contempt will breed whatever narrative people want.
Yep.
People have chosen the monopoly narrative because they heard one person say it online, and there we go.
Yep.
Exactly. So hopefully that fills you in on that. That's just kind of how it goes.